Alright, playing a league with Experimental Frenzy Affinity. This is the 75 that Jarvis U got an 11 Forge finish with at recent Modern GP. The idea is that Master of Ethereums is not a very good card in Modern at the moment. And Experimental Frenzy helps you grind as like your top end card for if the games end up going long. This is a mulligan. This is also a mulligan. What is up today, huh? Did I use up like all my luck on Sunday? I guess I meant to keep this and find a land with my scry. There's like, it's like almost tempting just to concede and go to the post-board games so if my opponent doesn't get to board in. Lots of artifact hate. Might end up regretting playing this game. I can cast the Steel Overseer and hope they don't have a removal spell, I guess. Jund not having a removal spell feels improbable. I guess this is also a way we could conceivably win the game. Memnite is just as good as a land. Memnite, literally a land. Yep. I'm not gonna lie and say this game is going perfectly. Basically colorless Dryad Arbor. Alright, I think we can move on here. So Tooth and Nail has the highest win rate of any deck we've played today. Shop, clearly the best deck in Modern. Ever feel that it's not your day? I am in fact feeling that right now. So you probably want Etched Champion against Jund. I feel like Ether Grid is quite a bit worse against Jund than it is against like Abzan. Yeah, I think I just want the Etched Champions and nothing else. If I had like a Relic of Progenitus on my board, I'd bring it in, but I think Rest in Peace is overkill. So you need to cut 2 cards. Welding Jar is good, especially since they've been cutting down on Terminates for Assassin's Trophy. It might just be Memnites, or like a Memnite and an Overseer. Overseer helps us be threat dense, but I am boarding in 3 drops. Watching this makes me think Jarvis may make it as a Magic player. I mean, we mold to 5, Phil. That can't really be helped. These things, they do happen. Alright. Memnite's just so bad against the Tarmogoyf deck. I think it's fine just to board them out. I have no idea, Fish. I know the card prices dropped quite a bit at one point, but I believe they've been rebounding like a little bit. I just realized I should Alright, let's keep a 7. Well, this is fine. This is a very reasonable hand. You have to cast 3 spells turn 1. Springleaf Drum helps us get towards the Frenzy. Luckily, a bunch of journalists haven't been playing that many Ancient Grudges, just because Grudge is pretty medium against KCI. So hopefully that works in our favor. Come on, opponent, figure out your scry. Send a message, activate Nexus to use it with Drum. You do actually end up doing that sometimes, don't it? To generate colored mana. Drum. Just like play half our hand. Next turn we get to suit up something with a plating and swingsies. Yeah, they clearly have Fatal Push, so I guess I'm suiting up the Ornithopter on that basis, because I'd rather have the Ornithopter die than the Signal Pest. Next turn we get to cast Frenzy, which I'm very excited for. I hope we'll get to cast Frenzy. Cool. Thopter down. Alright, please let me untap. Let me untap with all my stuff intact. Please. Thank you, opponent. Oh, don't Fatal Push. Don't Fatal Push. Oh my god, they didn't Fatal Push? This is great. This is just swell. It's kind of awkward we won't get to play anything off the Frenzy this turn, but I'm very into resolving this card. Alright, I should set an upkeep stop so I can cast that if I want to. How do they ever beat Frenzy? I mean, they can Assassin's Trophy it. If they don't have an Assassin's Trophy, they're in big trouble. I could play Ornithopters and Memnites. Mox Opals off the top, but that's true, Phoenix. Yeah, they could also have a Maelstrom Pulse. That would be fairly brutal. Ooh, we got punished for suiting up the Ornithopter instead of the Signal Pest. Wow. So if I want to kill the Liliana, I have to animate an Blinkmoth before casting this Galvanic Blast. Cool. Blinkmoth, Overseer, Sago. Alright, this is pretty heckin' great. I'm kinda into everything that's happening this game. Never Lily, Last Hope. Lily of the Veil, deal. She dies to a Blinkmoth very cleanly. If we want to. Or we can just leave her around and they have to start eating through their hand. That's probably better for us, to be honest. This is like a bit messed up. Oh my god. What am I doing with this blast? I feel like I don't even care about Lily. Because she just makes them discard cards. So if they want to plus her. Yeah, just smack their face, I agree. This is the best. I'm so happy right now. Sego. You've only drawn 8 more cards than them this game. No big deal. Lily Plus is hilarious against Frenzy, agree. Oh no, my Arcbound Ravager. Whatever will I do? I could technically save this from the vault, but I'd have to sack a lot of stuff. I think I'm just gonna let the counter move over to the Vault Skirge. Keep my Springleaf Drum in play since it lets me do more with the Frenzy. Yeah, Experimental Frenzy is really silly in a proactive deck with a lowish curve. Cast my Frenzy. Now we have a backup. Cast my Galvanic Blast. No, we don't have any more red mana. So heartbreaking. Might as well suit up the Ornithopter then. Now they need specifically Maelstrom Pulse to be in this game. So they need to get both Frenzies out of play. To keep playing Magic. I think getting the second one is like weirdly good, Phoenix. Because it means that Assassin's Trophy isn't as threatening. Oh no, Anger of the Gods. Whatever will I do? However will I win this game? Now that they've ticked up Lily, I could just kill her instead. Putting them to 4 is pretty nice though. I'm probably just meant to target the Liliana at this point. Honestly, it probably doesn't matter though. I don't really know how I lose this game from this point. I can actually suit up a Blinkmoth and attack for lethal. That seems a lot less fun than playing a Steel Overseer. I also think they're F6'd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Equip. And 8 you. Hey look, here's an Etched Champion, you can't beat this either, yep. Alright, that was pretty disgusting. I'm kind of convinced about this Experimental Frenzy card. Like, that was so messed up. Just run it back. Deck's perfect. I still feel like maybe I could have Steel Overseer for a Memnite on the draw. Because this card's real bad against Last Hope. The Memnite helps us be fast, but Memnite's just so bad at attacking them. It's part of the issue. You also see a world in which we're meant to be bringing in Spell Piercers for like anger and Liliana's. It really is, Alex. It was very impressive. I mean, this has a frenzy. I think this is a fine keep. We don't have a Fortsies. So we can actually cast turn 2 Frenzy if we want. I guess I don't cast the Ornithopter, because then I expose it to a removal spell and lose access to my Springleaf Drum. Thanks, Selene. Have a nice evening. I'm sure our experiments will be quite excellent. Tarmogoyf. Oh, what? That one's pretty good. This one's also pretty good. I could just cast the Etched Champion, but I think I want to get the Frenzy online as soon as possible. I will not be there, Jack. I'm not planning on any pre-releases other than the online ones. I'll be like streaming myself playing Sealed and stuff. But I tend to prefer just streaming my pre-release, like streaming myself playing Sealed as my pre-releases nowadays, just because it helps grow the stream whilst still letting me try out the new set. Yeah, Colligan's Command. It's a shame we have this card. Makes Colligan's Command look a bit awkward. Just like instantly rebuild. Obs. I am so into this deck right now. Just like easily winning both post-board games off the back of Frenzy. Frenzy is real gross. Agree. Kill your creature. Oh, awesome, Jack. Hope you're able to catch some of it. Fire my Blinkmoth. Equip my plating. Swing for 6. That's not bad. You're messing around with a mono red Frenzy build for Modern. Frenzy is just such a powerful card. I'm not surprised it's like Modern playable. It's also a lot of fun. Just makes for a lot of exciting turns. Nice 2-for-1. I'm just gonna Ancestral Recall. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much what's happening right here. Alright, yes. Just fire this at their face. I could try and kill them with this Blinkmoth, but they probably have removal. Yeah, I just want to keep casting things. Wow. I can force them to kill this Ornithopter. This match was kind of gas. Mull to 5 game 1. Lose the pre-board game with robots. Feel sad that we have to face hate. cast Frenzy 2 games in a row, win very easily. The way it was meant to be. What is this? Just deal 2 damage? Alright. Eat my Ornithopter. And eat my Springleaf Drum. Or my Citadel, probably my Citadel. Yes, Springleaf Drum forces me to tap creatures, but it is also making me coloured mana without hurting myself, which I guess isn't too relevant. I've already used 2 Galvanic Blasts. I was probably meant to just keep the Citadel. That's probably bad. Anyway. Turns out Future Sight is a lot better when it costs 4 and not triple blue. Triple blue is like a nightmarish casting cost. Maelstrom, Pulse, the Ravager, deal. Ooh, fair point, Dokomoy. I'll update the list in between rounds. Oh, that was actually just gas. Jeez. I'm so into everything that was happening right there. Alright, let's update the stream decker. This deck is hot. Agree, Ever Autumn. Alright, stream decker should be updated. I agree completely with that, Dokomoy. Frenzy seems like the most absurd card against Junt that you could possibly imagine. Just like draw 3 or 4 cards every turn against the attrition deck. Our opponent's draws are also like not ideal though. If they had a Tarmogoyf in either of those post-board games, maybe things would have felt more competitive. It was the fact that they were killing all our stuff, but they weren't able to pressure us, was like also part of the issue from their side. Which makes like Frenzy even more punishing. Like, if the game plan is, like, attack with Goyf whilst destroying things, then Frenzy is still incredibly strong, but at least they can try and get you dead. That was amazing, Alex. That was a truly glorious game. Didn't you end up winning that somehow? I feel like one of those games you saw like lethal burn in my hand and still won. Look at hand, see 18 points of burn. This is probably a mulligan on a 7. It's like pretty slow. At least in the dark anyway. There are matchups where I'd keep this, but alright, this is better. It's a bit more explosive. So I play the drum, because then I can guaranteed use it for mana next turn. And I'm going to need free mana next turn anyway. Hey there, Psyduck. Yeah, I'm excited to try this deck out. I used to play a lot of old school Affinity. but I've never played it with Frenzy in the deck before. Alright, I really want to kill the Hedron Crab, but I suspect I just need to get my Overseer in play to make as fast a clock as possible. As much as I'd like to Galv Blast this. I suspect I just need to get the Overseer online first. Hey there, Pharrell. Good to see you. I'm gonna get to Millis for 6 because I didn't kill the crab. But I think I'm more worried about getting them dead before they can gain like a big surge of life or get a bridge down or something than I am about getting milled out. Especially since they need to find a Field of Ruin to have Archive Trap be live. Oh wow. Hitting Ravager there is really good for them. Alright, that's going to make things a bit tougher, the fact that they randomly milled a Ravager. So I guess I just get this down and blast the crab. Slow down their milling a bit. It's possible there's a world in which I'm meant to blast their face instead. Oh no, this is modern. Playing modern at the moment. But there is a modern mill deck that's like actually decent. Jason Chung was championing it for a while. It gained a bit of popularity as a result. I think I just have to kill the crab. I think if the crab stays in play, I'm probably just going to die too quickly. Oh wow, this Mesmeric Orb is absurd. Really punishing me for getting my counter on the Nexus. So if I tap this, I have 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. Is it then lethal next turn? Next turn I get to attack with the Overseer. It would be 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so this makes it lethal over 2 turns. I'm not going to activate the Inkmoths because I don't want to mill myself any more than I need to off the orb. It's like pretty awkward then if they have the gain life spell, I guess. That's definitely like an argument for pumping an Inkmoth. If they have the 3 mana spell that gains them life, it's just so awkward not doing that. They have a bridge instead, maybe? Alright, well the crab's really annoying because it gets to block here. It is pretty sweet that Mill is seeing play in Modern at the moment. The deck's actually like kind of legit. Definitely agree with that. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we actually have lethal with the unblocked creatures. So they need either Fatal Push or more likely the 3 mana gain life spell. Yep. I mean, this was like something I was slightly scared of. Alright, I guess we have to try and kill with Infect next turn instead. So we're not going to get there with normal damage. So I can make this 3 and this 2. Next turn it's 4 and 3. Signal Pest would make them 5 and 4. So any land would give me lethal. If I pump these Inkmoths. Maybe I only need to pump 1 Inkmoth. And then tap 1 less permanent. So if I'm drawing to a land for lethal, then I'm going to have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, I don't even need to tap the Inkmoth here. This is actually kind of bad, too, because it makes Archive Trap lethal. But I guess Archive Trap's lethal anyway, because they have to play a land for it. Which would trigger the crab. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Alright. I guess we're getting punished for not chipping in with the Inkmoths earlier. I was kind of scared about like adding to the Mesmeric Orb damage, but I was also just like not thinking about Crypt Incursion. I've played with the mill deck a bit, but I've not really played against it very much. Yep. I believe that means we're dead. Alright, so I can chip in for some, in fact. I have to hope they don't draw a land. Land kills me, mill spell kills me. I'm not sure what they could possibly have that leaves me alive. It'd need to be like a bunch of surgical extractions, basically. Oh wow. That was unexpected. I was not expecting to not die there. I guess they could still have a Fatal Push, but is this even lethal? It's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, if they don't have this Fatal Push, we actually win this. I've definitely not played this very well. where I just like wasn't thinking about Crypt Incursion. I seem to be representing lethal, regardless. They have the push. No! GG, opponent. Alright, playing against Mill. So we probably want Spell Pierce, I guess. There's like a bunch of things which are kind of fine, but not exciting. I think the Frenzies are awful here, so those can get out. Spell Pierce is probably fine. Rest in Peace is probably fine, because it turns off Mission Briefing and Crypt Incursion. It also turns off Ravager though. It turns off Visions of Beyond. I'm wondering if I want some mixture of like Ancient Grudges or Wear Tears against Bridge. Ancient Grudge is probably good because they mill the grudges for me. Yeah, I probably do actually just straight up want the Ancient Grudges. And I probably want some Spell Pierces too. Maybe cut the Welding Jar. Oh, I can probably cut a land actually, because I'm cutting the Frenzies. I can probably cut the mountain. Hey there, Injectilio. Good to see you. I think I want the rips. I don't want to go too threat light to bring them in. They're like medium impact. It's not like they're that exciting. Alright, this is a mulligan. This is fine. I don't really need any more lands, so I'm going to bottom this. I guess it lets me equip my plating next turn. Maybe this is fine. So I go turn 1, Citadel, Opal, Ornithopter. I actually can cast the plating this turn anyways though, so I don't need the Spire to equip it. And I want to cast my plating turn 1 to play around Inquisition. We actually won our first match with this deck, Injectilio. Might have won that game too if I played it a bit better. The experimental frenzies were really impressive against Jund. Like super, super impressive. Don't know if I meant to play plating attack with Ornithopter or play Steel Overset and like get that building. I hit them for like 5 if I just equip the plating. 4 turn clock. I think I'm just gonna equip the plating and attack. It's like way better against Fatal Push too. The Overseer just feels like a bit slow here compared to getting this going. Alright, I go to 14. So you kind of have a 2 turn clock at the moment. which is nice. I can kill this Mesmeric Orb. Ooh, wow. That's so good. So I'm going to hit them for 6, and then the Galv Blast probably kills them. Right, I'm just going to kill the Orb before it mills me for any more. I guess this is a little awkward if they Inquisition my Galv Blast, because then I don't have lethal next turn anymore. Well, they did not Inquisition my Galv Blast, so that is good. Alright, cast this, attack my team. Did I board out a mountain? I did. I'm definitely meant to board out a different land than mountain because of them playing 4 Field of Ruin. I should swap that over for the next game. Or I could technically animate Blinkmoth for lethal here, except they have Field of Ruin in play. So I'm just going to let this happen instead and hold up Galv Blast. We are immediately boarding this mountain back in. We should not have taken it out. I guess I'm taking out... I have like 6 coloured spells on the deck currently. I mean, Pierce gets a lot more awkward with us on the draw. You wonder how many traps they have with their Field of Ruin. Like, Welding Jar is not great, but it does let you have fast Mox Opal starts. So I'm just going to take this out. Could definitely just be going down to 16 land instead. But I don't really want to take out the mountain, and I also don't want to take out like a blue source. So, hey there, donkey. I'm doing pretty good. Had a very nice weekend for the GP. I'm happy to be back streaming. This hand is a lot less exciting than our previous one. I think it's a fine keep though. Hey there, Alban. I'm doing well, thank you. How did I fare? I did quite poorly in the GP. I ended up going 3-3. My seal pool was quite underpowered, and in addition to that, I think I also just misbuilt it, which, you know, doesn't help. I had a great time on the Sunday though. Ended up borrowing a Death and Taxes deck off a friend and going 3-0 with it. And going 2-1 and some 2-headed giant too. Alright. It's so tilting. They get to field my Inkmoth. Yeah, it was a double up. It was a lot of fun. I guess I just want to get my creatures down this turn. The next turn I can plating. I'm kind of not using Ombre Meta this turn, I guess. This way. So I use my mana more efficiently if I go Mox Opal here to play the plating, but I think I'm just going to pass the turn. Our opponent's on Mill Dockroy, blue-black Mill, probably very similar to Jason Chung's list. So Sheldock often lets them get like the final burst of milling once they've like got the first 40 cards out of the way. Drone Crab. Scary. Uh-huh. What do you mean, Injectilio? Ooh, Galv Blast is such a good draw. I guess that's just the plan. Kill the crab, hold it up off of Opal for if they crack this fetch land. Equip my Signal Pest. Get a swing for 5 here. And then hold open Galv Blast to kill the crab. Yes. Oh my god, taste it. Don't get your mill free. They're probably fetching a Watery Grave here to kill the pest. Oh, no. They're doing none of the above. Oh, that makes sense, Injectilio. Honestly, that just sounds really smart. Like having everything line up in terms of schedule. Just seems like good planning. Hey there, brave guy. Good to see you. So there's the option of playing a Mox Opal here, because then we hold open, activate land, sack land to counter Field of Ruin. But I still feel like I might just need the mana at some point soon. Oh, I guess it would also protect me from Fatal Push. Actually, no, I was meant to play Opal. It also protects my Ravager from Fatal Push, since then it can put counters on an Inkmoth. Yeah, not playing the Opal was probably pretty bad. Can confirm, London expensive. London is V expensive. Alright, they're gonna sack the Field of Ruin and we're gonna get to counter it. It's gonna be so nice. So how do I do this? This deck is complicated sometimes. What's coming up after Affinity? This is probably the final league of the day, Sora. But should have a good hour or more left. I'm really confused on the sequencing. Alright, let's equip the Ravager. And sack the Opal. Play a new Opal. Clay Plating equip. Hey there, Fuzzy. Good to see you. It's really awkward because I'd love to be able to counter that Field of Ruin activation. I don't know that that's actually an option. So I think I guess I can also just then like hold open transfer Ravager counters too. It means I don't threaten lethal this turn, which is sad. But I think it's worth. I get to either counter the field activation or play around a Fatal Push. Oh my god. That's a good point, Joel Sony. I suspect my opponent's boarded out their Surgicals, but you're correct that I should technically do it that way to play around Surgical. So I could threaten lethal if they don't have like a Fatal Push or something, but I think doing things this way is kind of nice. Mission briefing, dismember. Alright. I can sack some stuff to get this Ravager out of range, which is nice. I'm pretty sure I have to sack stuff to get the Ravager out of range. Because if I dump counters on one of the Nexuses, they can just kill it with the Field of Ruin. So I need to sack 3 things here. Kinda sucks to lose all my mana like this, but I guess this is what we have to do. How's the frenzy rolling? It's been going well so far, Lassie. Am I sacking a land? Or a plating? Probably a plating. Yeah, I agree, Helio. We have another backup one in hand. Oh, I should have activated this for the extra damage. Actually, no, that's not even clear that I should do. Because I can also counter Field of Ruin activation with the Ravager this way. Or like dump counters, depending on what they do, onto one of my lands. So actually I think I'm not meant to activate the Blinkmoth. I think having the mana open is worth more. Hey there, Paul. This deck's going well so far. Won our first match, currently in game 3 of the second. Although this game seems like we might lose it. They still have a lot of cards in hand. And we do not have many resources left at this point. I'm going to be playing in the streamer event tomorrow. I will in fact be... I'm being sponsored as one of the streamers for that event. I'm very excited for it. That is an ensnaring bridge. Alright. What time does that start? I believe it starts at 4 PM my time. Yeah, we still have lethal with Ravager, unless they have another Dismember, which seems unlikely. I can also eat. I don't have the green mana to eat their bridge combo. Just sack their bridge to Ravager, easy game. Oh my god. That would be a really stupid card. Check out those Affinity mirrors. Just like eat your opponent's board with your Ravager. Cool. Opponent sees the line. Alright, 2-0. And one sideboard and whip flare. Oh my god, Sharp, that's incredible. That is actually incredible. I'm pretty happy with how this league's going. 2 wins in 2 rounds. Had a match where we got to do the Frenzy thing and a match where we just got to do the Affinity thing. Frenzy felt like real important in the match where we got to use it. Like, honestly, game-breaking levels of importance. So I'm going much better than that Breach Amulet League went. Since we have lots of subs in chat at the moment, by the way, people, right, so tomorrow I'm playing in the streamer-only special invite preview for the new set stream, where I'll be trying out, I'm being sponsored by WotC. I'll be given access to a special streamer account with all the new cards on it, and I will be playing standard decks from New Standard, so lots of Ravnica Allegiant cards there. Should be starting about 4 PM my time, I think, Sora, but I'm not 100% on that. I think it's at 4 PM my time, it's like 4 or 5. And if you're a subscriber and you have any decks you want me to play in the event, post them in the standard section of the subscriber only Discord, and I will play like pretty much anything that looks halfway reasonable. Yeah, I live in England, that is correct. So I think it's like GMT at the moment. Because we're not in summertime. We're not on the Malta 5 strat. Malta 4? No, Malta 5. Now they're on the Malta 4 strat. They're also on the 61 card strat. Equally as strong. Yeah, if you format the list properly for Arena, I will just play the list regardless of how good or bad it looks. Pretty much. Provided it doesn't contain the card Gorklaw. I really hope Phil's watching at the moment and heard that. I'll be so sad if he's not watching. What if it contains the card Wayward Swordtooth? I'm in. Sounds great. Carry on, my Wayward Swordtooth. No! If they win off this Malta 4, I'm gonna be real tilted. Let's just draw an Experimental Frenzy, huh? We almost have the City's Blessing. Put some Swordtooths in this to combine with the Frenzies. Honestly, if they have a Lily Last Hope in hand and they draw a land next turn, they could actually win this game. On their multi-4. It's kind of a terrifying thought. Alright. I'll play out my garbage. I have Frenzy in my deck, so I'm just meant to empty my hand whenever possible. Even if it gives my opponent info. Wow. We're actually going to lose to the multi-4. Indeed, Joel Serde, indeed. I agree with that assessment. Excellent cards. Excellent cards in our future. Wow, this game. I mean, they missed their land drop turn 1 shot, but their draw has been slightly absurd, considering multi-4 missed land drop turn 1. That is a Cranial Plating. Sadly does not do much here. Can we out Frenzy a Zombie Horde? Honestly, maybe. If we draw Frenzy next turn, I'm worried that I think our opponent's deck is going to be much harder to beat than Jund was. Jund plays like 1 Last Hope maximum, whereas Black-Green plays 2 minimum. And on top of that, Black-Green has Assassin's Trophies. More Assassin's Trophies, so is much more able to kill Experimental Frenzy. We do not have Forecast. Yeah, we have to have basically the best Frenzy in the world to get back in this game shop. That is accurate. I guess I was meant to play the Memnite if I'm thinking they're gonna Lily ult, huh? That was pretty loose. Alright, well, that was certainly a game that happened. Our opening hand seemed decent, and then we just drew nothing. The X ones seem real rough against Last Hope, but I'm not convinced I want. I definitely don't want Spell Pierce when my game plan is Frenzy. I mean, Signal Pest is also a threat, Mike. That is fair. Kept a threat light hand, and like both our threats were dealt with fairly quickly. I'm unsure if I want this. Like, getting rid of Tarmogoyfs can buy you a lot of time. I think Grid is a lot worse than Frenzy against them. Although I guess they do have Bobs. That Grid kills really, really well. How do I feel about this hand? This hand seems a little bit awkward. We've only one land. The drum does make mana for us too. Obviously, if we draw a land, this hand is very good. It's also kind of hard to mulligan against the attrition deck. I don't love this hand, but I think it's keepable. And mulling against the attrition deck seems bad for us. Hey there, Gra. Good to see ya. We're gonna take one of the 1-drops or the Etched Champion. Taking one of the 1-drops stops us having like an explosive start with the Springleaf Drum, whereas the Etched Champion's obviously the more threatening threat going long. Okay, cast a Signal Pest and a Vault Skirge. So now we have a board. Really need them to not have Last Hope, so that card is essentially unbeatable. Ooh, Bob is real good. Am I just meant to play the Ravager? Yeah, I'm wondering that inject Helio because of Last Hope. Just play the Ravager out instead of the Steel Overseer. I think that might be the case. Like, Last Hope will still be such a problem is the thing, even with a Ravager in play, but she's like a bit more manageable this way. Drew an Assassin's Trophy. Alright. Let us field a Roid Gust this turn. I'm kind of okay with that. The slowest of fetch lands, it really is. Ooh, we can kill the Bob. That's good news. Right. So I guess I want to kill the Bob and dump my hand into play. It's awkward because this can also kill a Lily, but I can't really afford to let them have this sort of card advantage going, it feels like. Battlecry Anthem's your team. Pumps all their attack. Let's just get this dead. Dark Confidant is just the... When I was playing black-green, it just felt like the single best card in the deck. Just want to get it out of the way. Even against these sort of aggressive decks, you can't play all 4 Bobs, but the first copy you play in a game is pretty decent. They're playing If Near Deadlands. What the hell? Yeah, I mean, guess that's the thing that's happening. Good old green-black trade binder. We literally know they have an Assassin's Trophy in hand is the problem. So we know that whatever has the counters is not long for this world. This is rough, yo. This is real hacking rough. Opponent was ready for us. Certainly seems that way. Yeah, I'm playing another black-green X deck. We are getting demolished by it. It does not feel particularly close. Alright. God, it feels so unlikely that I actually outgrind them that I kind of just want to sack both drums and the opal. 7 them. They go to kill my Ravager, I dump the counters on the Pest, and then I just hope they have no more removal somehow. I just don't... I guess I can draw Frenzy. That would let me keep playing. If they have anything, I just lose. Do I beat anything anyway? Yeah, I'll just sack the 1 drum. I just don't feel like I beat much this game anyway. There's like a decent argument for going all in, put them to 10. Then even if they dead lands the Signal Pest kills in 2 hits. Yeah, our draws have not been amazing, this is true. I'm really uncertain on this. I just don't know how I possibly win this game other than going all in and crossing my fingers. Like, it feels really bad if they have the second kill spell, but like realistically I would be beating the second kill spell anyway, being put in a position where we just have like no creatures and like only 2 functional mana sources. I just don't think that's a world in which we win anyway, so I think I'd rather just try and put as fast a clock as possible on my opponent. It is a frenzy deck, but we don't even have 2 mana sources if they have another kill spell, right? Because our creatures would be dead. Wow, they just have 3 kill spells. Alright, they get to keep the trophy. As well. We are pretty dead. I agree with that assessment. I mean, even if I still had the 2 Springleaf Drums and Mox Opal, we'd be super dead. Right? Like I said, a second removal spell was going to be too much for us anyway. So I still think I like going all in there, even if it looked pretty rough. Alright. Still 2-1. Still a decent start to the league. Hopefully we can get a 4-1. We've been getting lots of like 3-2s and stuff lately in Modern. I need to figure out what deck I actually want to like grind to get format points and such. It's like probably gonna end up being Phoenix, but the Nexus grind, Modern Nexus. I suspect that's not the best way to earn format points. Alas, would that it were. Hopefully we get 2 free so that 2 from there would have the best record of today. I would prefer for that not to be the case. Are format points a real thing? Can a player who only plays 25 hours a week do anything with them? I honestly don't know what sort of time scale you need to have enough, but I would be shocked if 25 hours of like a format doesn't get you into that format challenges. That would be very strange. Alright. This does not seem great. There's nothing turn 1, it's just like super slow on the draw. I think on a 7 this is probably a mole just because it's so slow. This is better. Need some mana sources for the Frenzy. I think I kind of want to top any mana source so I can get Frenzy online on turn 3. Weirdly. Alright. Yeah, you get 2 points for a 4-1 and 5 points for a 5-0, so like getting to the point where you can qualify for the format challenge is like honestly not that unrealistic. You need 35 every 3 months. So it's like 10 a month. So it's like a 5-0 and 3 4-1s. Which I feel is like very realistic for anyone playing like a decent amount of that format. Oh, we're playing against Phoenix. I used to think it'd be Storm too, but I was confused as to what we're playing against. Well, hopefully Frenzy helps us grind against the Gut Shot deck. We can get that down. It might just die to Phoenixes beforehand. Jeez. This matchup has to be horrific. They have Gut Shots, Phoenixes, and Thing in the Ices. How do we ever beat them? Seriously though, like, I actually have no idea. This matchup has to be horrific. Deck. Mill felt beatable. If that says anything. I have to keep the Ornithopter alive so I can have the Mox Opal do stuff. Means I don't get to block there. Alright. It's a weirdly good draw. It's something we can cast while still casting the Frenzy. Okay. Now the Ornithopter hopefully gets to block a Phoenix. To buy us some time. We have Galvanic Blast ready if they play a Thing in the Ice. Obviously we're dead if they have a bunch of bolts, but... Or even just like cast a third Phoenix would probably be tough. Faithless, looting. Please no more Phoenixes. Please don't discard a Phoenix. Damn it. They just have 3 Phoenixes in their top 19 cards. Yeah. Phoenix deck is pretty good when it has 3 Phoenixes in the top 19 cards. This is kind of a yikes, being completely honest. I guess I have to bolt a Phoenix and just hope they can't bring them back. It feels really wishful thinking, but... Okay. So probably need to block with an Inkmoth and just pass the turn here. Them having so many Phoenixes probably means we just can't grind against them with the Frenzy is the big problem. Can we get them with Nexus? So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We could try and get them over 2 turns and just hope they don't have anything, I guess. Or could have tried that. Yeah, just let them return Phoenixes and kill us. That was a brutal game. Jesus. This matchup feels awful. The gut shot thing in the ice Phoenix matchup. It's like all these cards line up really well against us. How do I even board? I think Rest in Peace is like typically a pretty bad card against their deck. And like really overrated against them, but I also feel like it's so hard for us to grind through Phoenixes otherwise. Steel Overseer seems unplayable against Gutshot, but we need win conditions. This is... I guess we have to get... We can bring in the dispatches at least. These seem really good. These seem very, very good. I'm probably meant to bring in Spell Pierce. Just take out the Steel Overseers. That's a good question, Gra. So I've tested on my own for like a couple PTs, and for this next one I'm likely to just test with Aaron, I imagine, and no one else. So I have done it before. I would say it's like not dissimilar for testing for any other tournament, realistically. So for draft, you'd end up doing like a lot of it on Modo. I think Magic Online is like a perfectly reasonable resource for learning the draft format. This is 5 mana sources. I don't think this is keepable. So mana heavy. This doesn't have a threat. But it can kill a thing in the ice, I guess. So I guess I keep this and try and scry to it. Sorry, just distracted a moment thinking about these hands. Like, this hand doesn't feel keepable either, is the problem. It just doesn't kill my opponent, but going to 5 is so bad, and at least this can kill a thing in the ice. We can try and like just hope to rip threats from the top. I think going to 5 is just like something you can't do with this deck. Because it's so like critical mass. That isn't even true though, Gra. Lots of the recent PTs have just been won by like people playing the known decks, right? Like White Weenie was discovered. Like White Weenie broke out the weekend before the PT on Magic Online. Right? So even though it was like supposedly the breakout deck on the PT, if you were paying attention to Magic Online results, you'd know it was going to be a thing. There's like lots of examples recently of Pro Tours where the deck that ends up doing well, you actually find in Magic Online results, or see do well in like a PTQ the weekend beforehand or a couple weekends beforehand. So I actually think it's fine just to play the known decks. I completely agree with Paul. It's like also fine to just use your normal testing process, because like clearly if you got to the PT, there's a reason you managed to get there. All right. Well, yeah. Yes, this is probably just like an unwinnable matchup. Certainly feels that way. All their tools line up so well against this deck. So yeah, I agree, like, whatever process you use to test normally for a format is probably fine. I also think trying to break the format is a really big mistake, unless you have, like, a big testing team, all of whom are, like, very good. Which, like, most testing teams aren't. You feel lost in standard. That's fair. My advice would be pay attention to like the SCG tournament that's gonna happen. See what does well at like RPTQs. See what does well on the online tournaments, like the Mox style tournaments and the online PTQs, and just like choose a deck from there that you're comfortable with, that you're gonna feel happy playing. And like try and tune it. Try and get to a point where you feel happy with it. For my first ever PT, I literally just for my first ever Pro Tour back in Battle for Zendikar, I'd only been playing like a year and a half at that point or something, like not hugely long. So I didn't have like a huge wealth of experience behind me. Certainly not in new formats. So I decided like 2 weeks before the Pro Tour just to build Green-White Megamorph, which had done well at an SCG thing, and just accept that like I was just gonna spend 2 weeks learning the stack because it seemed powerful and good, 2 weeks tuning it, and just like lock in that deck choice 2 weeks in advance. And that actually worked out like really well for me, just having a highly tuned version of an archetype and having a lot of experience with it. And sure, like I wasn't breaking the format or whatever, but for my first ever PT, that actually worked really well. So I think that's like a totally legit thing to do if you're feeling lost in standard. Just like make sure you know your deck as well as possible and it's well tuned, and like whatever happens, happens. I guess I could have played Inkmoth turn 1. Just talking. How's the league going since the Gen round? We have fallen to 2-2, alas, Phil. Alas, we have fallen to 2-2. We face the Phoenix deck, and that matchup feels like actually unwinnable. So there was that. Alright. God, if we're against Death Shadow... Oh, I hate playing against Death Shadow so much. It's like I have to attack to kill my opponent. right? I can't just not attack all game long. Yeah, there are Phoenix decks that have Stonies on the board now. I think Ross Merriam did in the top 8 of the SCG. That's what Inkmoth is for, but they're just going to Fatal Push it. That's what their deck does. I think Death Shadow is legitimately my least favourite deck in Modern to play against by a wide distance. Even when I'm playing a deck that has a favourable matchup against them, I just find it like so frustrating. I didn't pre-combat Nexus because there's a chance they go to Fatal Push my Memnite if they haven't seen the Nexus, potentially. Maybe that's too unlikely. Maybe I'm just meant to get in the extra damage. I also feel like I don't want to expose my Nexus is the thing. So it's like, that's kind of a concern. Activating it to get in the extra point would expose the Nexus. I don't know. Right. I guess I'm just casting this Ravager and saying go. Yeah, Death Shadow's curve is like basically a legacy curve, right? Just all 1 mana spells. I don't know how we ever win this game if they have a Fatal Push. That is interesting. Problem is Stubborn Denial. I guess this can kill the Death Shadow. And then we just attack with our garbage. Please don't have a second Street Wraith. Oh, because that turns on the Stubborn Denial, yeah. How do I win this game? Other than hoping they just don't have... Like, how do I beat a removal spell? I guess is what I'm wondering. It's really frustrating. The 1 damage I chose not to do earlier is actually making the Memnite not lethal. Then draw another Inkmoth. That feels really slow. I think I just die if that's the line. I actually have no idea what the line is here. I feel like no matter what I do, I'm dead, realistically. Even if I suit up the Inkmoth, I don't kill him 1 hit. I have to force the issue on removal using Nexus. Yeah, I guess. guess that is the plan. I don't know where we go from here, but okay. Wow. Interesting. See ya, lassie. Huh. Oh, are they just gonna kill both my creatures, or? This is strange. I don't really understand what's happening right now. I guess I just let this resolve and put a counter on the Inkmoths. The Inkmoths lethal on its own. Oh, they could have a Bolt in hand, but I can't play around Bolt here anyway. That's how Ravager works. There's a world in which I meant to have made Inkmoth for like a 4/4 at some point because of Bolt, but yeah. Just like actually can't play around it. How was Affinity ever good? Like, the only games we've won have been against Mill and against Jund because we had an experimental frenzy in play. I guess I'm forced to block, even though they clearly have something to be making this attack in the first place. I also don't know that I can ever like not block here. It feels like Modern has just gotten so much more powerful than this nonsense. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 damage in hand. Well, in play. They somehow don't have removal. Seems improbable. We can hope though. Gurmag Angler. That is not a removal spell. Leaving open 3 mana. They have a Snapcaster. I mean, I literally can't beat Snapcaster here. I have to go for the kill. Playing around Snapcaster is not a thing that I can actually do. Yep. This Mirrodin themed sealed deck. Oh my god, Alex. So I just basically dead. I guess I can suit up the Memnite. And then trade it with a Fret. Not really sure where I go from there. And trade this with the Angler. And take 9. Yep. Alright, so we're against Shadow. Definitely want these dispatches, they seem excellent. Rest in Peace seems like fine. I kind of hate that it turns off our Ravager though. But it probably does enough, at least on the play. Etched Champion seems excellent. Spell Pierce seems fine. So I think these are like the considerations. I'm unsure about Frenzy grinds so well against them. Thing is, they're not really a grindy deck per se. Like Shadow just kills you if you give them too much time. And Frenzy really sucks against Stubborn Denial, though I guess they'll be boarding out some amount of Stubborn Denials. Cut Blasts. I think we cut Blasts. I think the world in which you like double blast them after they've hurt themselves is not realistic. Yeah, I think I like Pierce, agree. I am really unsure about whether Frenzy is good here or not. At the very least, I think we can trim like one copy. I think Rest in Peace is probably too reactive to board in. Cut a Steel Overseer, I guess. Plays pretty poorly against a really removal heavy deck. Let's try this. This hand does nothing. Yes, this hand just does actual nothing. God damn. I really don't want to go to 5 against the Thoughtseize deck. It is kind of nice that this hand makes all the discard completely blank at least. And then we just have to like scry towards a big threat. This hand also doesn't do anything though. Going to 5 seems real rough. This hand is like a plating away from doing something, I guess. Or a Steel Overseer. I just don't think we can ever win off a 5-card hand. I think I'm forced to keep this and hope. Yeah, keep, pray to Dorwell, hope that they have like a couple discard spells in hand, I guess. It's hardly ideal, but I think that is the plan. Yeah, Affinity 5s are not playable. The deck is too synergistic for that. Too critical mass. Alright. Am I attacking with my 1/1s? It makes their shadows bigger. So I'm kind of not in love with it. I also have to try and kill them at some point. I think I'd rather try and kill them once I've drawn like a plating or something is the thing. It's like not a meaningful clock at the moment. So I think I'd rather not engage. Alright, start hurling these Inkmoths into the abyss, I guess. I guess there's an argument of just not doing this and not letting them use their mana. I'm just not going to let them use their mana this turn. Perhaps, Alex, perhaps. That's the thing with, like, Scales is a bit more consistent, but also the ceiling on it is so much higher, right? Like, the ceiling on Scales is complete nonsense. Whereas the ceiling on Affinity is, like, fine. Like, the ceiling is, like, if you have the Dream Draw and your opponent has literal 0 interaction, you can hope to turn free them. Oh, I guess I should technically do it this way. Just seeing if anyone else is streaming Modern for a raid. I guess I'm not meant to block quite yet. There's no one streaming Modern that I actually know, which is a tiny bit awkward. Oh, is Huey streaming? I guess I can just host raid Huey anyway. Huey is great. You hear experiments? Yeah, the experiments have been unsuccessful. Why are you a mod? I have no idea. Probably from ages ago. Back when I, like, originally streamed. Yeah, this deck does not feel anywhere close to playable to me. I'm kind of impressed that Jarvis managed to 11-4 with it. Our draws have been, like, medium, to be fair, but this also feels like a deck that's, like, super susceptible to medium draws. And feels like it lines up very, very poorly against the new tier 1. Oh wow, we have mismatching Signal Pests. Maybe that's why we were doing badly. Alright, just gonna hope they have no more removal, I guess. Try and kill them with this Inkmoth in 2 turns. Like, this deck does not feel particularly good against either Shadow or is it Phoenix, and those are 2 of the very best decks at the moment. I have to imagine it's quite bad against KCI as well, because you're replacing your Master of Ethereums with Experimental Frenzies. And Frenzy is just, like, so much slower at goldfishing. Anger of the Gods, yep. Yeah, I am never playing this deck ever again. This felt like complete. This deck felt very bad. We owe to the final 3 rounds. We beat Mill and Jund, but then we faced like 3 good decks. What this means, Gabroff, is that Tooth and Nail is confirmed the best deck we played today. In fact, against all odds. I was hoping for this deck to be sweet too, and the first match was really promising. But after that point, I don't know. This just feels really underpowered compared to a lot of Modern nowadays. And I'm not convinced Phoenix helps you. I'm not convinced Frenzy helps you against any of, like, the legitimately good decks, right? Because, like, the actual the actual good decks, like Phoenix, Frenzy is too slow against. They'll just kill you. KCI, you want Master of Ethereum instead of Frenzy, because that, like, Master of Ethereum can actually clock your opponent, and Frenzy is so slow against them. Death Shadow, Frenzy kind of feels too slow against, and also is so bad against Stubborn Denial, like heinous against Stubborn Denial. Like, it just feels like Frenzy is such a weak card against the, like, legitimate tier 1. Like Dredge, the card does nothing against 2, whereas at least Master of Ethereum helps your Goldfish. It does allow you to stuff Jeskai, but Jeskai is not a very good deck, so... I have no idea how else you could possibly do that in Modern. Bobbin could not possibly answer that one. Alright, I'm going to be off for the night now.